guys, it's Cloudy. How are you all? It's been a while since I've vlogged, and one of the reasons was because I started a new job, and another reason was because I had a bunch of classes to do on the weekend on my university campus. So I've just been like really busy trying to keep up with life. Today, however, I wanted to talk about my July wrap-up for Villainous Anime. As you probably know from the last couple of vlogs, I've been really obsessed with Isekai Villainous Anime recently. I've been reading some of the light novels in my spare time, trying to catch up with certain manga for a series that I've watched, and also just been exploring other very popular titles and adaptations that have come out recently. So today we're going to be talking about 3 series that I was recommended on the internet. You probably know these series and they're pretty popular overall, but if you didn't, I hope you guys give them a try. And if you've seen them, I would love to hear your thoughts below. So without further ado, let's get started. The first series that I watched was Tearmoon Empire. I was a little bit apprehensive going into Tearmoon Empire because I heard that the world building and the overall tone was a little bit more serious in the premise. However, once it gets started, it's pretty lighthearted. I was also confused why the protagonist was so young, because in a lot of other Villainous series, very typically at the beginning of the series, an engagement is broken off or some sort of teenage girl dies and gets reincarnated. And for Tearmoon Empire, what's interesting is that Mia Luna Tearmoon, the princess of the Tearmoon Kingdom, she's actually executed when her kingdom revolts against the royal family and has a revolution. What happens is, for some odd reason, which is like totally not explained in the anime, she gets reincarnated to her younger self from like 3 years ago, or was it 5 years ago? Anyways, there's a couple of years for her to basically prepare for what's going to happen. And as always, our reincarnated female protagonist has all of the know-how from her previous life or other life cycles. But in Mia's case, because she spent her first life being super lazy and super spoiled, she basically knows nothing about the Empire, and it's actually pretty funny that a lot of things go in her favor basically because she has protagonist armor. However, I do feel like her personality has changed, and a reoccurring theme that I noticed is that in her first life, she was a bad person, so bad things happened to her. And in her next life, she's much kinder, she's more empathetic to people, and therefore good things happen to her. And it's sort of this like cycle of karma that we get to see as she encounters people from her past life that she had vengeances with or bad blood with. In her current life, she actually becomes friends with them and she becomes a much more likable person overall. For me, I really liked the world building, like understanding the sort of politics and social struggles that are inside the Tearmoon Empire. I also really liked seeing Mia's personality really shine through a variety of situations. Mia is someone who is mature in the sense that she's lived up to being like 17, 18 by the time she's executed in her first life. However, when she's reincarnated into her life again, she actually has like really childish traits that I find really endearing. She has a lot of high energy, and the narration overall adds to a lot of the humor. So I really like Tearmoon Empire. The second series that I watched was I'm the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss. I actually started watching this when it first released seasonally, but I felt like episode to episode, it just wasn't fun to wait week to week and ended up dropping it. However, watching it in one whole sitting, in one stream of consciousness, was like way more engaging. Basically, this series follows Eileen, who ends up having her engagement broken off with the Crown Prince, and she ends up going to the Demon Prince, who's half brothers with the Crown Prince, and she becomes the Demon Prince's fiance. She knows that for whatever reason, if the Demon Prince were to unleash his true powers, then he would turn into a dragon and destroy everything, and then she would also die. So obviously she doesn't want to get to the bad end, and she's trying to tame the final boss so that she can make it out alive and find her own happy ending. I think the art style was the thing that stood out to me the most. It was like really pretty, really fairy tale-like. I loved the fantasy aspects. I loved the dynamic between Eileen and Claude. I loved the way that Eileen interacted with a lot of the side characters and the sort of driving force that she was in her plot. She was definitely one of the more proactive characters. She actually has a lot of restrictions placed onto her because she's the Demon Prince's fiance. So their kind of like tsundere and ojo-sama dynamic was like really cute and really attractive to follow. The last series that I watched was the Most Heretical Last Boss Queen, from Villainous to Savior. Super long title because these are all adapted from light novels. This series was actually a little bit harder to get into because it was so serious. Like right off the get-go, Pride Royal Ivy, who is the main protagonist, is shown in a very villainous and sinister light. When our protagonist wakes up in Pride Royal Ivy's body, she recalls all of the knowledge from this world due to an otome game from a different life. And she realizes that Pride Royal Ivy is capable of doing all these evil things. And now that she and the Villainous are kind of merged together, she's really worried that even though she's trying to make amends and make better decisions, she might end up being evil anyways. And this is basically what anchors the plot line for the entirety of the show and the series. Pride Royal Ivy is a really admirable character. It brings up this discussion of nurture versus nature. Was this Villainous born evil, or did she become evil due to an accumulation of behaviors and actions that she has done for a long period of time? So as we watch this new version of Pride, we're able to see her change her personality, change the fates of people around her, and overall just have these ripples of changes come from her affect the kingdom and move the kingdom in a very positive direction. Characters that she had never interacted with, characters that she had bullied or tormented, she basically saves them in this life. She gives everyone a chance, and honestly, I really feel like she's one of the most altruistic villainous characters that I've seen thus far. I've watched a lot of villainous series, and I feel like a lot of times, you know, other than wanting to do good for the kingdom and for the world, they have this selfish motivation that they don't want to die or get to the doom route. But I really feel like Pride is so altruistic. Even though something were to go wrong, she's willing to sacrifice her life for the better good. So it was really interesting to see her navigate different situations. And I feel like compared to other more fairy tale-like or fantasy romance-focused villainous series, this series actually focused a lot on the kingdom stuff. So working with some soldiers, or reforming certain areas, or just like trying to boost the skills of her people in her company so that she can become a more respected noble in court. A lot of the series touches on these struggles in the world of nobility and royalty. So do you guys have any more villainous recommendations for me? I feel like I've watched a lot of the mainstream ones, and if there are light novels or manga or Korean manhwa that I haven't talked about on this channel, feel free to recommend them to me in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and more updates will be coming very soon, hopefully, and I will talk to you guys in my next one very soon. Bye!